All right, it is recording. So thanks again. Cannot thank you enough for coming out and doing this. It looks like you're pretty busy. You got some training sessions going on in the background, or it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Right. So long story short, we got talking a couple of months ago about the possibility of maybe you being the namesake of my child.
It's a good name. It has served me well.
I mean, it's not a very common name, so that's a pretty cool thing. So, I mean, if anybody asks, we'll say it's from you. So you got
All
that.
right, I like it. I like that idea.
All right, let's get into some questions here. So I run a small YouTube channel. It centers around a lot of like high school wrestling technique. I've been coaching high school wrestling for the last 11 years now. So
oh wow.
Nutrition is a big one, and you've volunteered to help out and give some nutrition information. So we always appreciate that stuff.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, so here are my notes. So if you want to give a quick intro.
Yeah.
Occupation.
So it's mostly high schoolers that I'm talking with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to get some other people that are also, wrestling fans.
Right. But the information is for high schoolers primarily, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell us your name and your occupation for anybody who's unfamiliar with you.
Yeah. Hey guys, my name is Smiling Sam Alvey. I've been a UFC fighter for about 8 years. I've got over 22 fights now with them. And I've made a career out of fighting for a living, but it all started with wrestling. I wrestled my senior year of high school. Then I went to a college without a team for 2 years. Then I transferred to a college with the team for my senior year of college. So I got to wrestle 4 split years. I was never as good as you guys are, but it made me work. I fell in love with the sport. I was happy being a practice dummy for the good guys. And honestly, I think it's the 4th highest takedown defense rating in the UFC history, not just currently, but in the history of the UFC. And I think wrestling was a big part of that.
Nice.
I was really blessed with having some good coaches and really setting me up for good fundamental base.
Very nice. Okay. So answer a couple of questions there. All right, so let's get into some of the nutrition stuff. And I didn't know you had such an extensive wrestling background, so that's a bonus.
I wouldn't say I was a B team wrestler with some, it was a good practice. I'm here to try to get better light for you. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a good B team wrestler.
Okay. I mean, that's all important. I mean, practice partners are, just as important as the guy out there on the mat anyway. So.
Yeah, I love doing it. It was, my workouts today in MMA are still based on my college wrestling years.
See that, guys? Doesn't forget it. All right, awesome. All right, so let's see. All right, so you've been a professional athlete for a very long time. You've been in the UFC for, you said 8 years. So that's, hats off to you there. That's fantastic. But as with any professional sport, diet nutrition is always, top priority. But even more so with the combat sport. So, how would you say that it's directly affected your performance?
Well, so most of my career, I did it wrong. I went with the basic thought of, okay, I'll eat less and I'll work out more, and that'll get me on weight. And that's not the way to do it. I became a certified nutritionist with Lockhart and Leith. They're the guys that cut with Conor McGregor and who's the boxing guy? Tyson Fury. They're nutrition guys. And DC, and they've worked with dozens of the greatest athletes in the world. And I've trained with them, and it's really helped me become a better coach. But even more than the coaching, it's helped me learn how to cut weight properly. Not just cut weight, but be a healthier person in general, making sure I get everything I can out of all of my workouts.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. So it's obviously played a huge part in your career. So you answered that question. Let's see. All right. So how big does it play in your lifestyle? So I know you're a big family guy. Your wife's always in your corner. You have 5 or 6 kids.
5 for now. We'll get to 6, but we're not there yet.
All right, so you have 5 kids. So how big does nutrition play in your daily lifestyle as opposed to just training?
Well, more than with my family. I always tease my wife. I call her, her name's Britt or McKee. She's the anti-diet. That'll be her fight name, is Britt the anti-diet Alvey. She is a chef. I mean, she does wonders in the kitchen, and she's always got something sitting on the counter that's easy to snack on. When I know I shouldn't be, and I have to really get in the right mindset to live with her, to not eat everything she makes.
Right.
But that said, knowing when to eat certain foods helps. So there is a time when she makes that, she makes this French toast. It takes like 24 hours to marinate and bake and stuff. When she makes that, there is a time when I can eat that. I just have to know when that time is.
All right, very smart. Sorry. I guess that's good and bad, blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us about a time where maybe you ate something and you felt the effects of it immediately? Something bad, or maybe you drank something, you felt the effects immediately. It could have been a practice, it could have been a lifting session, where you just really felt like it was bad.
So that everyone's got those moments where we'll eat something and just won't feel great. And it's usually fast food. Fast food is about as terrible for you as you can get it. It's anything deep fried and battered and this and that. It's usually not good for you. But since I've started learning more and more about nutrition, I found that eating good foods have a bigger effect on me, positively than the bad foods did negatively.
Right.
Meaning, like, if I go into a workout without having any carbohydrates, I am tired and I feel it. But then the next day I'll go in having eaten the carbs, half hour, 30, 45 minutes before. I'm like, all right, I'm good to go. I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I know what I'm going to do. I know how hard the practice is going to be, and I know how to fuel myself for it. So the positives I feel out of eating correctly are just innumerable.
Okay. So piggyback off of that question, can you think of maybe one day or one time where like it really clicked? Like maybe you had like your first healthy meal before a practice. Wait a minute, I don't feel like junk. I don't feel bad. Was there one of those moments in your lifetime or your career sometime where that happened?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say even recently. So in my sport, I always have to swing about 40 pounds. I get big and then I got to get small. So it's a constant yo-yo diet for me. I'm a big dude who has to make 185 pounds. And so pretty much I've gotten it every day of the year. It's about 4 ounces of yogurt, a little bit of honey, chia seeds. I recommend all of you eat chia seeds on everything. Chia seeds, and then I'll put half a banana in. And that's my breakfast. Pretty much, whether I'm cutting weight or just living life, that's what I eat. And my weight does, I know what it'll do. Well, I just got done talking with the UFC PI, the Training Institute, and they help us with everything. And they've had me add granola to my yogurt, so which is the carb. I said, listen, especially on your harder days, you're not getting enough carbs. Put the granola in there, and you'll put enough. I mean, it'll be half a cup. It'll feel like too much, but put it in there. So I put it in there, and that first week was just eye-opening. I feel dumb as how have I not been doing this? I know my body runs on carbs when I'm working out, and that's what your body does. If you get an elevated heart rate, you're burning carbs. Why have I not been eating enough carbs? I thought my half a banana was doing it, but it wasn't. And just adding that half a cup of carbs is just one, it makes the yogurt taste way better.
Right.
But two, like the next day when I started doing it, I was like, this feels good. My body is ready to perform like I need to, and my practices got better.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's a good one. And honestly, yogurt cups are what, 50 cents a cup wherever you go?
Yeah. During my fight camps, I am the cheapest guy. I get yogurt. I'll get a quart of yogurt, and that'll last me about all week. And I'll make salmon on like Sundays, and then I eat salmon for lunch and dinner the rest of the week.
Okay.
and it's the proteins, and I'll get all the veggies I want. And it's, I mean, for me to eat for a week is like $25.
I mean, that's fantastic. That was another part of our question. So obviously we're dealing with high school kids here who either A, might not have jobs or might not make a lot of money to buy their own groceries. So,
Mhm.
I mean, can you recommend a couple of cheaper items besides like the yogurt and maybe like some cheaper fish that they can probably pick up at the store or have their mom or dad go?
Yeah, get the yogurt. Don't buy the individual cups, although those are great if you know you're always going to be on the run. You know, just grab a cup and go. But a lot of times those cups have a lot of sugar in them. If you get yourself just a quart or 2 quarts of a non-fat plain Greek yogurt, it's a ton of protein, and it tastes great with fruit or the granola in it. So that's a great breakfast. That's a great snack. Now I used to, because I used to be a poor fighter, I couldn't do the salmon, and the salmon's a little more expensive, but I could do tilapia.
Okay.
And tilapia is not a great fish. It's a bottom feeder fish, but on a budget, it works just fine. And you can put some herbs and spices on and make it taste a little better. And you get a lot of tilapia for not much. I mean, you get pounds of it for, I don't know, $10.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a little more successful fighter, a little more established, I go the salmon route where I think it's $20, feeds me for a week just about, which isn't that bad either.
Right.
But there are ways you can get a cheap protein. Chicken's another. I mean, chicken's not that expensive, especially if you buy in bulk. And your meals, like I used to also think that a meal of chicken was a chicken breast. It's not the case. A meal of chicken is like 3 to 4 ounces of chicken, and that's for me, 220-pound Sam Alvey. 3 to 4 ounces of chicken. That's half a chicken breast. Is all I need. It's all that fuels me. That gives me the protein I need to build and become stronger.
Nice. Okay. I feel like you're hitting all my topics within the same thing. It's a good thing because we're on the same page here. So, all right, you kind of hit on, I was going to ask you, how about like what your kind of like cheaper go-to meals were when you were just starting out? So you hit that one pretty good.
Yeah, tilapia.
Let's see. All right. Do you have I know a lot of pro athletes are very superstitious. So do you have like something that maybe you won't touch food wise, or maybe something that you always celebrate with after a successful fight, or something like any kind of meal or treat, snack? Some people it's candy, some people it's ice cream, some people it's steak.
Not so much because of superstition, but I love cereal. I mean, any of it. Yeah, I love it. And after a fight, I will eat all of it. But yeah, you can't really eat it during camp because there's not much else on this planet that's as bad for you as cereal.
Oh boy.
Even the healthy cereals are terrible for you and filled with sugar and everything bad.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. All right, what's the weirdest food craving you've had besides cereal? Any like strange ones stick out or something you had during camp?
Oh, the one that is always there is chips and salsa.
Really?
I can't, that's something I can't go to like a Chili's or anywhere that gives you chips and salsa to sit there. So I won't stop. And it's I have just accepted myself that I'm not going to fight it. If I'm in front of it, I'm just going to go to town on it and take care of it tomorrow.
End up shoveling it. Yeah.
Oh, just 2 hands. And it is, Britt, my wife, thinks it's hilarious watching it. They put it in front of me without even me realizing what I'm doing. It's just like shoveling in. And then the basket will be empty. Hey, can I get another basket?
Right.
So that's the one thing I really have to avoid doing. Avoid those restaurants that just give me all you want, chips and salsa.
Of course. All right. So have you, or did you ever do same day weigh-ins, like with your amateur fights or something like that? You ever did like same day weigh-in as the fight?
No. And I'm very, at least for fighters where we're paying to compete as the amateur realm. California does same day weigh-ins, and I hate same day weigh-ins.
Yeah.
I know with wrestling it's a little different. It's almost same hour, but that's trying to keep kids from getting as big.
Yeah.
Make it so they don't have to cut so much weight. The fighters, amateurs, professionals, you end up cutting weight no matter what. And I'm not a fan. I've never had to do a same day weigh-in, but I've been around. I've coached a lot of amateurs that have.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, there is a good, like you said, there is a good purpose for it, but it's definitely dangerous because the guys still want to cut the weight anyway.
Yeah, for high school, it makes sense for high schoolers, particularly high schools and college wrestlers. It keeps you from having to cut a lot of weight. But the fighters, it's not really a hobby for us anymore. It's a profession, it's a job, and so we're gonna cut the weight. We're gonna suffer, and then same day weigh-ins is you sit there and you're dehydrated while you fight. But you're bigger.
That's a good point. All right. So do you have like a post weigh-in routine? First thing you eat? What do you do right after you weigh in?
So my weight cut is usually about 15 pounds. So the morning of my weigh-in, I'll lose 15 pounds. When I was younger, I could immediately start eating stuff. At this point, if I start eating anything right away, I get sick. I mean, it's like religiously, I have to drink a little slower. I can't eat anything for usually it takes a couple of hours before I can eat anything.
Wow. Okay.
So I've got it. Like I said, the nutrition through Lockhart, I've learned how to make my own rehydration shakes. Okay. And it's just a matter of sodium and glucosamine. And you can measure how much of that you have lost throughout the week, knowing what your weight was and what you've cut out and what you've not eaten all week. So I've gotten real good with the hydration shakes. I'll drink 3 liters in about an hour and a half, about an hour. It tastes really good when you're done cutting weight. Yeah. Once I'm done with those, then I'll start with like rice cakes, stuff, real light food just to help my belly swell a little bit.
Okay.
And then a few hours later, I go pizza. Once I can eat again, I have eaten pizza as my traditional post weigh-in meal for 15 years now. I've eaten pizza everywhere in the world I've ever fought.
Okay. Pizza topping, go. If you had to have one, what is it?
Green pepper. I'm lame. Everyone picks.
No, I like green pepper.
Green pepper, and that's my preference is just cheese and green pepper.
I like a good mushroom too.
Yeah, I've never been crazy. If it's on there, I mean, pizza, you can't screw it up. So yeah, I would eat it if it's on there, but not my preference.
Pineapple, yes or no on a pizza?
Yes. Pineapple and ham. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. I've been fighting that battle for a long time, so it's good to have you on my side. All right, so you have your wife and you have 5 kids at home.
Yes.
All right, I've got 2 kids, and I completely now understand where the whole dad bod thing comes from, because my 3-year-old is all about dino nuggets, and she might eat half, she might eat 6,
Yeah.
I know where it comes from now. So how do you balance 5 kids and all kinds of different diets in that household?
It is hard. I've got myself convinced, though, that if it was my kids and I eat it, there's no calories in it because it wasn't supposed to be mine. It's hard to do it. It's a lot of times I got to get up and leave. It's like, I'll tell you, Britt, I got to go anywhere else.
Right.
And it's my cross to bear the rest of my life. If there's food in front of me, I want to eat it. Yeah. My kids don't eat it, I will. And so a lot of times I just have to remove myself from it.
And it's hard throwing away too. If they barely touched it, you don't want to just throw it away. So you're like, what do I do?
And can't lie. What I have done many times is put it in my mouth, chew it, and then spit it all out. And it's
okay.
Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. But yeah, I've done it a lot.
That's awesome. All right. So are there any foods that are like off limits when you're in fight camp? So I know I got a bodybuilder friend, like donuts can't be in the house, cookies can't be in the house. Do you have anything like that at your house, or is it like just hide everything from dad?
It's really just hide everything. I try to get my wife on board with quit buying the kids cereal, because I got a real weakness for it. So I try to get her set. I will cook them breakfast every morning. Just please don't don't cook them, don't buy the cereal. And she's usually okay at it. It's like we'll keep a box or two just in case we wake up late and we got to get something in them.
Right.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man. All right, let's see. I have a couple of fan questions. And
Okay.
Kind of across the board here. All right, we'll do a couple of these, and then I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, short and sweet. Let you get back to your stuff.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it again.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, so we got one from Twitter. All right, so he said, so this is, I'm gonna probably say his name wrong, Fabian GIB on Twitter. So he said, I see a lot of people asking for and expecting his release, so your release from the UFC. But how do you feel about Dana having your back publicly and leaving you on the roster? So it's kind of a two-part question.
Yeah, I expected to be cut after my last fight. It was fight of the night, which I think gave me this fight, my most recent fight then. And my most recent fight, I hate saying I was robbed because you should have finished them. Don't leave it in the hands of the judges. But I mean, it was obvious to everyone that I'd won the fight. I expect to be cut. Dana does have my back, or at least very publicly. He was like, "Hey, the dude fought bangs. He's arguably fighting the night every time he fights." So I've been blessed with that, and they've said nothing to me so far. So I think I'm all right.
Awesome.
I'm gonna keep myself in shape and ready to take anything last minute.
Right.
And I'm very comfortable. The UFC has given me ample opportunity to prove myself, and I think they're going to give me at least one more.
Awesome. All right. So the second part of that question is, so he says, does that come with its own added pressure to succeed, or is fighting already making you give 110%?
You know, no matter what, I'm giving everything I have to the sport. It hurts my pride to lose, but winning I love what I do. I want to have a career in what I do for the rest of my life until I don't want it anymore. I love the training. I love the hard parts. I love the scars I get from the sport.
You're tailing up pretty good.
It is. It's still a little race. I'm not sparring yet, but I'm rolling again. I'm just babying a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't feel any added pressure, but okay. I do know that they could cut me at any time.
I mean, honestly, with them, you really never know. I mean, some guys are on, some guys go out 2-1, some guys go out 1-5. Who knows? It's all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, we're happy you're still around. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's always fun to watch. Like it's it's like watching guys get sucked into your pace, like your fight, like your style, like they get sucked into that like pace. They're like, oh, he's a little awkward, he's a little different, and then like they just get dragged into this slugfest, and it's fun. So please, please keep it up.
I've got the power to do it. I apparently can take a hell of a punch. I wish that wasn't so proven. But I hit hard. I'm the kind of fighter people like to watch fight. That night, people keep telling me I'm a nice guy. Whether I am or not, I don't know. But they all think I am, and that's unique to the sport. So that has helped.
It is unique because everyone thinks you got to be, like some aggressive, tattooed cover person, and I mean that's the old style of MMA. So
yeah, it's not me.
Right. All right. So with that, where did the nickname Smiling come from?
I think it was my dad. My dad will say, yeah, it was definitely me, but I think it was him. It was I think I might have been young pro or early amateur. The thought, I never knew about the UFC. It was not my plan to be in the UFC or have a career in this, but I figured, you know what, if I'm doing this, let's try and be as memorable as possible. And I was always a smiley kid. I'd always smiled my whole life. I was just real happy, firm faith in God. And I've always had a good family. There's no reason for me not to smile. Now all of that's still true, and I get to fight.
Right.
So the name just fits me perfectly, and I think more people call me Smiley than they do Sam.
That's awesome. All right, let's see. We're gonna head over to Facebook. We have a question from Rich. I'm gonna say his last name wrong. Rich Ybarra.
Okay.
All right, so he asked, what is your most satisfying win? I mean, it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be just UFC.
My first of the night bonus was against Cesar Ferreira. He and I are cool now. We've met a bunch of times afterwards, and we're we like each other just fine. But in the weigh-ins, he was one of those mean guys. He got up in my face and put a forearm in my throat, and they had to separate him a little bit. And I just did my goofy smiles, like, "Hey, we'll see you tomorrow, my man." And then, then I knocked him out hard. He came out. He was doing a spinning capoeira garbage kicks and throwing stuff. And even listening to us, like, well, Sam better do something quick or he's gonna buy. And then, bam, just floored him. It was in Brazil. He was the next Vitor, and I just laid him out. It was pretty satisfying.
I think he just won the show, didn't he? Didn't he win like Tough Brazil or something, or he was a runner-up?
Yeah, he had just won the show.
Yeah, man, fantastic. All right, and then Rich also asked, "What inspired you to do MMA?" So,
nothing inspired me to do it. It was some guy asked, "Hey, you want to fight in the cage?" I said, "Okay," and then I just kind of kept doing it. I never watched the UFC. I never watched boxing. I never knew of any of it. To be completely honest, in my head, Jackie Chan movies were actually how fighting happened. And so I got out there and I didn't know the rules. My first amateur fight is I dropped him. I mean, he was down and I celebrated. Woo! I won. It's not the rules. The rules are I keep going until the ref stops it. So I got back up, the bell rang, and then he beat the hell out of me round two. I wish I knew the rules. But no, it was really some guy said, "Hey, you want to fight?" I said, "Yeah, okay."
That's awesome. Favorite Jackie Chan movie?
Drunken Master, his second part.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. We're gonna go back to Facebook. We got 2 more Facebook. All right. Do you have or have you ever been to a Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to tie into this question. All right, so Aaron Bessix asked, if you ordered a Chick-fil-A sandwich, what is your go-to sauce? And he says the sauce says a lot about the person. Now, he didn't give me any kind of scale to to test you on, so I'm just gonna know that he's silently judging you somehow. But what kind of sauce would you put on the sandwich?
If I can have any sauce in the world, I am going to take Cane's sauce, Cane's fried chicken.
Okay.
They have this sauce that is just fire. I would put that on anything. That would be my sauce of choice.
See, we don't have that over here. East Coast.
You got to find it. The chicken is okay, but the sauce makes you worth going.
Yeah. Okay. Damn, East Coast. All right. Last one from Facebook. So Dan Wright says, any predictions for Saturday? So I'm guessing he means Diaz Lawler 2, Valentina and Murphy, and Ortega and Volk.
Yeah, I'm going to take Volkanovski. I'm just not sold on Ortega yet. Maybe I should be. I haven't seen him fight all that many times, but I don't know. Volkanovski's just a beast.
Yeah.
Shevchenko is going to do whatever she wants. She'll make the fight last as long or short as she wants. And I think Robbie's going to win. That's really the fight that I don't have a strong opinion on. I think Robbie's going to win. I know Robbie's on the downside, but he's fought fairly recently, and Diaz hasn't fought in 6 years. And everything Diaz says, his interviews are so weird. It's like he doesn't like what I just don't get it. But I think Robbie wins that one.
Yeah, Diaz is a character for sure. He doesn't like to talk, doesn't like to be talked to. Have you seen, I think it was yesterday or today, they released like promo footage of like Diaz kind of like doing like little shadow boxing with like the mist in the background and all that stuff, like the UFC promo stuff.
I have not seen it.
All right, so he looks a little on the softer side, which is why I'm guessing he decided to make it a middleweight fight instead of a welterweight. I don't know, but that's making me a little nervous.
It's something I always wish. I wish, like the week of my fight, my opponent says, "Hey, you want to meet up 5 pounds heavier?" I said, "Yes, I do." Right. Oh man, that would be great.
Cereal, here I come. Right. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's see. So gonna go over to, we got 2 questions from Instagram. So we got Shane Faison. So he's at Fight Tips on Instagram. He says, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Favorite cheat meal? Pizza is always a good option, but I've got myself convinced pizza is not even a cheat meal. It's just a way of life.
Right.
Yeah. So it's up there. And then my wife's, I told you about the French toast she makes.
Right.
That's a pretty good cheat meal too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the best pizza you've had? Where's it from?
It was Poland of all the places.
Poland.
Yeah. It was also the biggest, worst weight cut I'd ever done. And so that could have been why it was so good. But I just remember eating the pizza, and it was a sweeter sauce, and it was just the best I've ever had.
Gonna note that one. Check out pizza in Poland. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And so this one's actually from one of my wrestling kids. So his name is Rich DXVIES 612. So that's an Instagram. And he says, what's the toughest part about fighting?
The weight cut.
The weight cut.
Yeah. Everything else about fighting is a lot of fun, but the weight cut's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And something I always tell people, they say, oh, wow, you have to cut 40 pounds. I said, no, I have to lose 30 pounds and I have to cut, 10 pounds. It's not even cutting 10 pounds. Is I have to get my body ready to lose weight. And then the actual cut will be 5 or 6 pounds.
Okay. All right. All right. Do you have any, I guess, like any weight cutting horror stories? Sometimes, I don't know.
The Poland is the worst one. It was 42 pounds in 10 days. It was a last minute fight. And then, I never say no. UFC, hey, can you do it? And I said, yeah, I can do it. And I should have said no.
Right. That's the worst. All right. Any information that you want to throw out there for parents and maybe watching the kids? Because we get a lot of parents that are always concerned about weight cutting. They say they don't want their kids to drop weight classes. My kid should be getting better or bigger if he's growing up.
Yeah, especially kids. Weight cutting, you can do it within reason. There are ways to do it that keep you fairly healthy. But the primary, don't look at it as a weight cut. The weight cut is literally when you are in the sauna, when you're in the bathtub, when you're running on the treadmill, when that is the weight cut. Everything prior to that is a diet. And you can change weight classes by altering the diet. I never let my kids, the kids I train, do weight cuts, but I will let them diet. I will let them correct the way they're eating and come down. And that there are so many good ways to do that. Little tips: no carbs at night. Don't eat bread or anything like that at night. Your body has gas tanks. The primary thing your body uses to cut weight, to function, is fat. It just doesn't burn it very much. It just burns it constantly. As soon as you have an elevated heart rate, your body switches to burning carbs. So when people eat, spaghetti or pasta or pizza, it's all a nighttime food. It's like the worst thing you could eat at night, because you're eating these carbs, but your body is not burning it. Your body is now going to go into sleep, where your body will burn fat then, which means the carbs are in there. Those carbs have to do something. Those carbs will turn to fat. Right. Stay away from sugar and stuff. After workouts is when you'll take your protein, after or during. Take your protein there. And the protein doesn't mean a protein shake. Most of the protein you'll need, unless you're a bodybuilder, weightlifter, something like that, you can get from foods. Sometimes if you have a quick meal, you can take a shake instead of a chicken breast. But you can get most of it from foods. The actual weight cut, as little as possible. If it it happens, it happens, but as little and as rarely as possible. But just making little alterations in when you eat food can change how light you get and your weight losing process.
Very nice. Okay. I'm definitely going to pass that on to a couple of parents. All right. All right. So do you believe in the whole, what is it? I think it's like they say half a pound or half a gram per pound of body weight for protein intake, or a pound sometimes.
I I
Is
don't
that an old
I
technique?
don't think it's a matter of belief. Isn't that just the way it works? I guess I don't know. I know something people protein. Your body will burn 60% of it just naturally. You'll have 60% that just is not used. Uh, which is why every diet is high in proteins, because you eat it and your body doesn't absorb most of it. You'll then have 40% of whatever you just ate going into your body. So the high protein diets, like you're saying, was it a gram per pound or half gram per pound? That would make sense in that your body won't use most of it, but you're just keeping it able to use it if it needs it.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, and that's every every diet, the caveman diet, the South Beach diet, the Atkins diet, all it is high protein and low carbs.
Right. Minor tweaks, but yeah, same stuff.
Yeah.
Same stuff. All right, Sam. I think that's it, man. You hit everything on the nose there.
Okay. And so I Lockhart and Leaf, they've got a fitness program, a fitness app. You can I think it's like $20 a month or something. And usually if you just Google it, Lockhart and Leaf, it's George Lockhart and what's the wait, his last name's Leaf. George Lockhart and something Leaf. Daniel Leaf. That's it. If you Google him, they've got an app that you can purchase from them or pay a monthly fee for, and you can get your kid or yourself on it, and you just put in how often, how many hours a day you're sitting, how many hours a day you're standing, how many hours a day you're sweating, you're doing this, and it will program what you should eat, whatever your goal is. If your goal is to gain weight or lose weight or maintain weight, this app can run that for you. I wish I had a link I could give you to post, but I don't have it with me. It's been a minute since I've had to use it.
Oh, you're
But
good.
yeah, just Google George Lockhart and Leaf, Daniel Leaf. You'll be able to come up with that app, and you can run your meal program off their website.
Okay. Appreciate it. I got to, link it to me, and I'll link it on the video when I put it up, and we'll get it going.
Oh, excellent.
I appreciate it, man. So you're my first UFC fighter interview, so hopefully there's more to come, but I really appreciate it. I wish I could, I don't know, toss you some money or something, or, donate something to somebody. But what I can do, I can send you a little t-shirt. So obviously a bigger size on this one. This is like a smaller sum.
Small. Yeah, maybe when I cut the weight.
Right. But I'll send you something. I appreciate you, taking time and doing this thing. And I know the kids will too.
Sir. Yeah, I hope you and your kids have just a great season. Take state or whatever else it is you guys are trying to take. I hope you win everything.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Enjoy your day.
All right, you too, my friend. All right, have a great night.
You too. I'll see you.